going to work through problem 3 from Online Homework L, and this is also the second problem on the daily quiz assessment that I gave you. What I really wanted to point out here was the way that we can use technology to do this problem. In this case, they're just giving us the data for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different heights of seedlings. So what they've done is they planted some seeds, they've waited 14 days, and they measured how tall they were. And this is a way of getting an idea of how effective this particular nutrient is in the soil. Anyway, so we have 6 pieces of data. So we need to build our confidence interval. We are just going to put this over into our technology. And like I said before, StatCrunch will work for this, but if you've had trouble before with StatCrunch opening correctly, I wouldn't start trying to deal with it now. I'm going to do copy to clipboard and do Control C, Command C. So Command C or Control C will copy that data out, and then we can go over to our web app. This is the inference web app that's referenced on the second handout that I posted. And like I said before, when it comes up with textbook examples. So what I want to do here is say I want to use my own data. These are seedling heights. So I'll put the name of my variable in just to make sure my pictures all make sense. And then it says observations. I can just say Command V or Control V for paste, and it'll put my 6 numbers in there. If you have trouble with copying and pasting, remember it's only 6 numbers. So worst case, write down the 6 numbers on a piece of paper, then tab over to the app, and then type your numbers in. Down here is where we can set our confidence level. The problem on the homework first asks for a 95% confidence interval, which is the default. So it's really all good to go. You can see over on the right side, it shows me some text plots and some box plots and all kinds of great stuff to help me visualize what my 6 points are, but there's only 6 points, so it's not that much to look at. The important things are here, we have our sample mean, that's our point estimate for the population mean, so 62, I think these are millimeters of height. The standard deviation among those 6 is 4.633. There it says point estimate, obviously that's the same thing, so that's not a coincidence, that's the same number. Standard error, that would be coming from the standard error formula, that would be taking this sample standard deviation and dividing by the square root of the sample size. They give us the magic t-score that they're going to use from the table, and finally calculate margin of error. But the big takeaway for the problem at hand is just this, the final answer. So 57.29, 67.01, we are 95% confident that the real mean for these seedlings in the population is somewhere between those 2 measurements. So I can come back over here to my homework set. It says to round to 1 decimal place, so that'll be 57.3 to 67.0. Those are rounded to 1 decimal place. It asks for 2 things we could do to get a narrower interval. Well, this is largely common sense. If you want a narrower interval, that means you want to be more sure. So the way that you would be more sure, one way, would be to get a bigger sample. The larger the sample you have, the more sure you should be about it. So that's one way that would narrow your interval. The other way is to try saying less. So decreasing our confidence level would also give us a narrower interval, because we're making less of a commitment to our statement, so we can have a tighter range. So we can decrease confidence level or increase sample size. For the 99% confidence interval, now that this is all set up, it's just a matter of moving our little, whatever that's called, doodah, over to 99, and getting the new values. I assume it's going to ask for 1 decimal place again, so my new bounds are 54.5 up to 69.8 that I see down here in this table. So again, back to the homework set. I'm just going to type those in, 54.5 to 69.8. Notice that we did increase our level of confidence. So we're saying what we're saying, we're more confident in this statement, but notice that this is a wider range. We're saying less. To say the height is between 54.5 and 69.8 is making less of a commitment than the first statement we had in letter A. So the only way we can be more confident is to make less of a commitment to our statement. And then they ask why the 99% confidence interval is bigger. And that's just a matter of thinking through your 5 steps. This is where using the technology does make it a little more like magic. In this case, if we had gone through the steps, the only thing different in calculating the 99% confidence interval for the 95% confidence interval is that we're using the different magic t-scores. And if you look at the table, you'll see that the magic t-scores for the 99% confidence intervals are larger than the 95% intervals. So I think that's the right thing. Yep. So that's the question number 3 in online homework L.